Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're totally flipping traditional career advice on its head. We are going to break down exactly why mastering hard, high-income skills will absolutely crush the pursuit of quick, flashy cash every single time. It is time to shatter some illusions about what it actually takes to build lasting, exponential wealth. So I want you to imagine for a second that you have a choice. On one hand, you could show off a wildly wealthy lifestyle right now to all your friends, your family, your followers, or you could do the quiet, hard, honestly, kind of invisible work to secure actual financial freedom for your future. I mean, it sounds like an absolute no-brainer when I say it out loud, doesn't it? But society, and especially social media, has this incredibly powerful way of tricking us into choosing that first option. You know the vibe. It's the classic quick money illusion. Picture this: cruising through Dubai's sun-drenched streets in a bright yellow Lamborghini, pulling up to some wildly expensive restaurant, and casually ordering a $500 filet steak. People are playing this flexing game online all day long, pretending to be on top of the world. But the reality? Most of the people living this way are completely drowning in debt. They're financing these trips on credit cards that will literally take them months or even years to pay off. It is 100% smoke and mirrors. Let's just pause here for a second, because the reality behind all that flexing is actually pretty jarring. While people are out there swiping credit cards for a $500 steak just to look rich online, a massive chunk of the population, 37% of Americans to be exact, literally cannot cover a $400 emergency expense. On top of that, 60% of American households can't even afford a new car. It's a huge wake-up call. You simply cannot live like a king and build actual wealth at the exact same time, especially early on in your journey. So, how do we avoid falling into this massive financial trap? Well, that brings us to Section 1, choosing the right path, money versus skills. Let's break down these two paths. Path A is what almost everyone is taught to chase. You get a safe, boring, but fairly well-paid job right out of the gate. You prioritize the paycheck early on, your parents are super proud, your friends think you're killing it. But the catch? Over time, your earning potential hits a massive plateau. You're stuck. Then there's Path B. This means taking a challenging role with lower pay. You might even struggle to make rent for a couple of years, and your friends might think you're falling behind. But you are secretly prioritizing skills and equity. And because you did that, eventually, your earning potential completely blasts through the roof. Literally every single self-made millionaire follows Path B. Why? Because they understand a fundamental secret. True wealth is built by combining highly valuable skills with equity. And equity just means owning a percentage of a business to benefit from its profits. You can start the business yourself, you can earn your slice through highly skilled work, which we call sweat equity, or you can buy it. But here's the kicker. You have to make yourself worthy of it first. You've got to bring genuine, undeniable value to the table. Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, building your Swiss Army knife of high-income skills. You need to start treating every single job or gig you take as a tool to add to your mental Swiss Army knife. Even if you're stuck in some low-paying apprenticeship right now, you are there to extract the skills. Think about it. If you learn a wide, diverse range of high-income skills, you become your own greatest asset. It honestly makes it almost impossible for you to ever be broke again, because your absolute best wealth-generating tools are locked securely inside your own head. So, what tools should you be adding to that knife right now? Well, there is a massive, starving market for online-based skills. Things like copywriting, video editing, and coding. And hey, before you think, but everyone on the internet is doing that, let me stop you right there. 99% of people simply aren't up to standard. They're lazy with it. The demand is growing way faster than the supply of actual talent. So if you genuinely dedicate yourself to mastering the craft, your real competition is virtually zero. And this highlights why right now is such an insane, unique time in history. The younger generation has a massive generational tech advantage. Think about all the older business owners out there. They run highly successful brick-and-mortar companies, but are completely lost when it comes to the internet. They have no idea how to manage remote teams, handle digital invoicing, or build a modern website. You can step in, pull their business into the 21st century, and generate serious income just by leveraging those exact digital skills you've mastered. But here's the thing. You can't do it all alone forever. Eventually, you're gonna hit a bottleneck. The simple truth is, you can never outcompete a talented, unified team working together. Take Elon Musk. On the surface, he looks like this solo genius who built an empire single-handedly, right? But that's just not true. He was a core part of the infamous PayPal mafia. When PayPal sold, that elite group of tech experts branched out and actually helped each other build giants like YouTube, LinkedIn, Yelp, and SpaceX. So to truly scale your skills, you've eventually got to gather a powerful team. Now, acquiring all these skills is completely useless if you fall victim to your own psychology. Let's look at Section 3, Navigating Mind Traps and Avoiding Wealth Killers. The very first trap is cognitive overload. This happens when you're just getting pulled in a million different directions by everyone's opinions. Should you be a doctor? Start a startup? Travel the world? When you have way too many inputs, your brain just short circuits. You suffer from decision paralysis. To beat this, you've got to start with your end destination in mind and work backwards. Block out the noise. Only listen to focused, expert advice that specifically helps you hit that distinct target. The second mental trap is the ego trap, beautifully captured by the iceberg principle. Look, arrogant people get way too focused on the end goal, the shiny big picture, and they completely lack the humility to realize that true wealth building is about continuous, lifelong learning. What you currently know, it's just the tiny tip of the iceberg poking out above the water. The massive foundational chunk of knowledge is completely hidden beneath the surface. Arrogance blinds you to those crucial small steps and tricks you into thinking you're too good to keep learning. Trap number 3 is the blame game. There's this fantastic ancient Chinese proverb that says, "The man who blames others has a long journey ahead, but the man who blames no one has already arrived." Every single day, you wake up with a choice. Pick up the magnifying glass or pick up the mirror. The magnifying glass makes you hyper-focus on others. You blame the government, your boss, the economy. It's just endless excuses. But if you actually want to succeed, put down the magnifying glass. Pick up the mirror and focus 100% on what you can control, your thoughts, your skills, and your actions. And finally, we arrive at Section 4, Breaking Comfort Zones and Escaping the Prison. The reality of this prison is honestly staggering. Studies show that over 50% of Brits will never, ever leave their self-imposed comfort zone. It's like living inside a cell with invisible walls. Sure, it's a place of safety and security, but absolutely zero growth happens there. And the truly tragic part? 45% of those people actively worry that they are going to deeply regret it later in life. Breaking out of that prison means accepting that expanding your comfort zone isn't a one-and-done thing. It's a lifelong journey. Just look at this real-world chronological path. It starts with dropping out of traditional schooling to become a carpentry apprentice. Then, stretching even further into late-night side hustles. Taking a terrifying risk with a massive bank loan to start a business. Flying across the globe to China, navigating language barriers just to figure out manufacturing. And even after achieving major success, choosing not to coast, but expanding the comfort zone yet again by launching a YouTube channel at 53 years old. The space for growth is totally infinite, but you have to be the one to actively claim it. So I'm going to leave you with that exact thought to ponder. Take a hard, honest look in that mirror we talked about. Are you sacrificing your incredible long-term potential just to look successful today? Are you just chasing the next paycheck? It is time to claim your infinite possibilities. Ditch the quick money illusion for good and start building the foundation for real, unshakable wealth today by mastering your skills. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this completely changes how you look at your own journey. Catch you next time.